Story 1. I, Mel 40 male, have been married to my wife 40 for 5 years. She has a son tween and a daughter pre-tween from her previous marriage. I have one daughter, 1 year younger than her daughter from my previous marriage. About a month ago, her son accused me of hitting him. I never put my hands on him or anyone. My wife confronted me and I denied it. She didn't believe me. After the argument, I went to call off and talked to my friend. He was very worried and said I should leave the house with my daughter. He said that I'm a man and no one's going to believe me, and I could lose my daughter if things escalate. I finally understood the gravity of the situation I was in. After a long walk, I made up my mind. I went to my house and asked my wife to talk to me. I said that I never hit him. I don't know why he said it, and I don't want to know anymore. I told her that I didn't feel safe in this house and didn't want to risk my and my daughter's futures. I told her I understood her mama bear mindset, so I won't blame her for not believing me. But the last place I want to be is anywhere near a mama bear. I packed my and my daughter's bags and left my parents' house. I refused to take her calls and asked her to only contact me through messages, since it's not legal in my state to record without the consent of both parties. Her messages ranged from blaming me to blaming herself and wanting to talk in person. 3 weeks later, she messaged me and told me she believed me. When I left, she started questioning her son's allegations and obvious inconsistencies emerged. She realized that her son was full of crap. She apologized profusely and begged me to come back. I refused. I told her that I couldn't risk it anymore. I don't trust her children, and I don't trust her to believe me. I can't risk it. She asked me what I wanted her to do. Give up her kids' custody, and I said honestly, I do love her and I do want to stay with her. But I can't risk it to be with her anymore if her kids are staying with us. I told her I was sorry and didn't expect her to leave her kids, so I thought it would be best if we move forward with separation. It turns out she is actually considering giving up custody of her kids. Her ex-husband called me and asked me why his ex-wife was talking about giving up custody. I told him the truth, and he was angry with her son, but angrier with my wife. He respected me enough not to push it further when I told him to sort it out with my wife. So we are in the middle of a crap storm, and I'm not budging. I can't stay in the same house as her children. I'm getting bombarded by phone calls from people blaming me for making my wife abandon her children. But what other choice do I have? I can't risk going back now. Am I the idiot for not going back to my wife until she has custody of her children? Not the idiot. How does she go from Mama Bear who will do anything to defend her children to if you come back to me, I'll ditch the kids? Disturbing. A parent who gives up their children to be with a romantic partner is not someone worthy of your time. Suppose she was saying she wants the kid to be in therapy, either you two being temporarily separate or the kid being primary with his father. In that case, she is considering giving up custody without any thinking. If she does this with her children, she will do it to you. Yeah, this is what has confused me too. Mama Bear was ready to rip up apart and didn't argue when he decided to go. But is now all, yeah, screw these lying kids, please come back, dear meal ticket, hubby. And she apparently didn't tell the ex-hubs the truth, since he had to call up to find out what was going on. Mama Bear should be renamed Drama Mama Bear. She likes the drama of it. She took 3 weeks to decide to allow Op back into their lives. The minute Op was like, nah, Drama Mama Bear is all, screw these kids yo, and is blaming Op yet again for all of it. Or she realizes that her son will never be happy if she's with anybody at all, meaning she'll never be able to be in a stable romantic relationship because her son will sabotage it. She realizes her son has issues, showing he's willing to go to extreme lies to get his way. I'm torn. People are saying, she should have believed you, and I understand their mindset. What if it was her posting? People would ask how she could believe her new husband over her son, and how she's risking her son's safety. So it's a lose-lose. Ultimately, I do think you are right to leave 100%. I wouldn't go back personally. She will end up bitter and resentful that she gave up custody for you, and any argument you have will come back to, well, you have your daughter, and I gave up my kids for you. It won't work. Don't waste any more time. Resentment will grow and fester. This happened a few days ago, and I've been conflicted since. Before my birthday, 5 of my friends asked if I would like to go out to get some food and drinks for my birthday event. I said sure, where would we go? Mike said anywhere you like. I suggested a nearby steakhouse that I've been to in the past. We all met there. Mike quickly ordered himself a drink and started talking about appetizers. I said I don't usually eat them, but I'll try one. We ordered our mains, and we all ordered the steak and another round of drinks. At which point Adam also ordered a bottle of champagne. I said, lighten up, birthday boy, have some fun. I did think maybe I was being too uptight, and since I was being treated, it's not too big of a problem. I may as well celebrate. Mike started arguing with the table next to us because they threw a French fry at him. I explained to him that they weren't even eating French fries. He had them earlier and must have dropped one. Then he stood up and started swearing at the table. There was a toddler child at the table who looked shocked. I told Mike to sit down, and he started pushing me, saying, "That man threw something at me." The waiter came over and said there had been complaints against us. Mike just silently drank his beer, and Adam started arguing with the waiter, saying the other table started it. The waiter said we needed to pay up and leave in the next few minutes before a problem occurred. I said, "Thanks guys, do you want me to help pay?" At which point they all looked at me, and Adam said, "You're the birthday man, right? You got money." I said, "I thought you were inviting me because it's my birthday as a present." Adam chuckled a bit and said, "Weren't you the one that chose where we were going, bud?" Adam got up to leave and said, "Let's go, boys." I started worrying. I thought they were pranking me and said, "You can't really go." Then Adam began to walk away. So I grabbed him a bit, and he looked at my hand and said, "Get your hand off me, pal." I just looked at him and said, "Why are you acting like this, man?" They walked out and left me with the bill. I tried to explain the situation to the waiter. He said someone's got to pay and your table was causing a lot of trouble tonight. I tried to apologize, but he just looked at me like I was dirt. So I paid it. It was most of my money. I spoke to my friends after, and they just acted like nothing happened. I said, "You guys need to pay me back," and I got several replies along the lines of, "It's already over, leave it." So I haven't spoken to them in a few days. I received a few messages asking me if I'm still crying or if I grew up yet. I have yet to reply, and I want to know if I was wrong to assume that I wouldn't be paying. The whole situation had me feeling weird. Not the idiot. But why would you be friends with any of these people? I'd have paid my part of the tab and left. If the restaurant wanted to call the police, I'd let them and provide contact information for the police to everyone who ditched. When I read the first half, I thought it was going to be a split bill, and Opie thought his friends were planning to pay his portion. I can't imagine inviting someone out for their birthday, insisting on ordering apps and drinks and champagne, and then sticking them with the bill for the whole group. These are not friends. Opie should never speak to these people again. Exactly, those are not your friends. Sorry you had to deal with that on your birthday. Take it as a learning experience and know you are wiser, kinder, and a better person than them. And block all of them for sure. But before you go no contact, I'd celebrate one of their birthdays first. Make sure to order a ton. When it's time to leave, go to the bathroom and never return. No, they would call the police on him, and he'd just get stuck with the bill again. Dude, you got played for a sucker on your birthday. That was 100% planned ahead of time. None of these people are your friends. I'm sorry, Op. If you want revenge, take a copy of the bill and take them to small claims court for their portion. Lol. I, 21 male, am a university student, and I also have a part-time job at a grocery store.
Our store has stringent policies regarding theft, and standard protocol requires every store employee to report any theft to the store manager, who will contact law enforcement and handle the situation from there on out. We have cameras covering the entire store, so everything that happens is captured on tape. You will most likely get fired if you don't follow these rules. Last week, I red-handedly caught a woman trying to steal period pads. I walked into the aisle and saw her shoving multiple packs of brand-name period pads into her bag.
At first, I told the woman that I saw her, and I told her that even though it goes against standard protocol, If she puts the pads back and leaves the store, I won't report her. She didn't answer me and continued shoving the pads in her bag. This left me with no choice but to call over the manager, who then handled the situation from there on out. The next day I met up with my girlfriend and told me what I did was terrible. I asked her why, and she told me that the woman probably really needed those products for health and hygiene reasons, and I ratted her out. I explained the store protocol and the fact that I even gave the woman a warning. But my girlfriend still thinks that I'm an idiot for reporting this desperate woman in need. Am I the idiot? Legally, you did the right thing, but morally, not so much. Imagine not being able to afford basic hygienic supplies. That poor woman. Op isn't an idiot for doing their job, and the shoplifting lady isn't an idiot for being desperate for sanitary products. The thing is, multiple packs aren't needed. It's greed. That woman didn't care that Op would be left without a job and put right in the same poverty position, so she is in no way required to be moral. It's a hard one to judge, but people with big hearts are often the ones who get screwed the most. Pad Lady didn't give a single care if Op lost his job. By the way, Planned Parenthood has a stock of free pads and tampons, in case it helps anyone. Also, the need to steal the products is speculative. She could have just been stealing them to sell them. Op did the right thing. He followed a company policy that, if violated, could have terminated his employment. All he was required to do was inform leadership about what he saw. Any actions they take are at their discretion. I honestly think it's kind of odd that if the woman is stealing, regardless of what it is, Op's morality, in defense of an act of theft, is called into question because he did exactly what he was directed to by his leaders in this situation. I do love my girlfriend, but I'm really annoyed right now. My girlfriend couldn't get through college because it was too difficult. She was 24. She was crying all the time and stressed out. She tried for multiple years, but couldn't do it. She said it was too hard for her, and after discussing it a lot, I said she could drop out and I'd take care of her. I like the idea of giving someone I love a really happy and great life. She can enjoy herself and chase after hobbies. I always pictured myself with someone who was highly educated like I was, but I realized it doesn't have to be that way, and some people are happier without the capitalist grind. It was hard for a while, especially when we were younger and I was still in school, but I'm an engineer now. Since I'm the only person providing, I work in the upper 40 to mid 50-hour range weekly. I love my job and am passionate about what I do, but it is physically exhausting. It even zaps my energy on the weekends. I'm still young though, so I plan to work less in the future. She does 90% of the cooking and cleaning. We have a smallish condo, we live in a big city, and no kids. We do have a dog. So I was shocked when we were with new friends, and she mentioned that she was a stay-at-home mom, and it was the hardest job in the world what she did. I corrected her and said we didn't have kids and didn't want any for the next 10 years. She said sure, but our dog is our child. For the rest of the dinner, she went on to talk about how difficult being a housewife is with a woman there who was actually a stay-at-home mom. It really rubbed me the wrong way. I wouldn't ever say I have the most challenging job in the world. Afterward, I asked her what she meant. I said she was living the life I would kill to be in her shoes. I'm clocking 50 hours a week while she's sending me pictures of her shopping at Target, spending hundreds somehow, and she has the hardest job in the entire world. I said that made me feel really underappreciated. She said I was underappreciating her. It's the hardest job. Cooking and cleaning is exhausting. She said she spent 6 hours cooking yesterday, but I pointed out all she made was a Chipotle bowl. If that's taking you 6 hours, something is wrong. She said she was counting the hours she spent letting the beans simmer. Like, geez, it comes off as extremely privileged, which she is, I guess. I told her she has no idea what it's like for me. She's never worked a full-time job, and it rubs me the wrong way she's talking about how hard cooking beans is. I said if it was that hard, she could go back to school or get a job, and we'd hire a cook or cleaner. If I hired someone to do her job, I'd save a lot of money. It turned into a big fight, and she called me an idiot. Not the idiot you're being taken advantage of. This will not get better. You should consider yourself lucky, she's just a girlfriend, and you have no kids. Leave now. She will always be entitled, and always think she's doing more and counting beans simmering. Who counts the time it takes for food to simmer as the amount of time you spend working? She was probably watching TV during. She's ridiculous. If looking after one dog and cleaning a small condo is such a hard life for her, imagine what happens when life really starts getting hard. Important, do not allow her to whoops a baby you, or you'll end up doing all the work for the kid too. Op, please listen. She is likely to start getting concerned that the gravy train is ending. You enjoy or at least feel responsible for caring for others, so she will realize that a baby will be an even better way to latch you in forever. Do not trust her with birth control. At all. She sounds like a self-entitled mooch who has no clue what the real world is like. I have a daughter, tween, and a stepdaughter, nearly adult, with my new husband. My stepdaughter got a nice summer job and saved up a lot of money. She also works a part-time job and makes quite a lot. She bought herself an iPad Air, a laptop for college, and an S24 Ultra. My daughter has been increasingly wanting those things. She recently asked for an iPhone 15 because all her rich friends had them, and she also wanted an iPad Pro. I told her I would get her an iPad for her birthday, but not an iPad Pro. She still complained and left. Her birthday was a few days ago, and we got her a Redmi Note 13 for €200 and an iPad 9th Gen for the same price. She threw a tantrum, complaining about how she got a cheap phone, how all her friends have iPhone 15s, how it's unfair that her stepdaughter gets nice stuff while she doesn't, and calls me a terrible mom. My ex says I'm favoring my stepdaughter, and I should buy her the iPhone 15 and iPad Pro. But it would put a strain on finances, and I don't think a tween needs the latest smartphone. Now my ex and daughter are mad. Am I the idiot? I might be making my daughter jealous and depriving her of an iPhone, even though I can technically afford one. Not the idiot. Your ex can buy it then. Your stepdaughter used her own money, not yours. Ask your ex if he wants his tween daughter to get a job so she too can have those things. If the answer is no, your ex can damn well buy them. What a damn liberty. I'd be tempted to get petty and tell your daughter she can have them as long as your ex pays for them, because you didn't pay for stepdaughters and don't have money for stuff like that. See what happens to the ex's attitude when the shoe is on the other foot. Your daughter doesn't need the latest model iPad. If your ex thinks you're favoring your stepdaughter by letting her buy her own things with her own earnings, and thinks your daughter needs an iPad 15 Pro with all the bells and whistles that are just going to get lost, stolen, or broken at school, then he can buy it. Your daughter sounds spoilt rotten. Is she being bullied at school for not having the same things as her rich friends? That's the only reason I can think of that might justify her tantrum. And even then, the tantrum is not on. Thanks for listening.